3 of the Advent Calendar series. It is day 3, isn't it? Yes, Wednesday, day 3, December 3rd. Today I'm going to go through my DVD collection. I say collection, it's like remnants of what was maybe a DVD collection back in the day. Well, it definitely was. I was very proud of it when I was younger. I loved collecting DVDs in my teen years and early, well no, I think it was just the teen years. So all of these are pretty much like a time capsule from 2005-ish, give or take a couple of years before. I want to go through the TV shows because there's more of them in this video, which is going to be the higher quality one. And apologies if I start waxing lyrical about these because, like I said, they're all from a specific era, and that was my youth. So like movies and shows from this era may be better, but they don't have the same or you don't have the same connection with them as when you're like in your teens or your youth days. So the first one actually is a bit of an odd one out because this is warm. This is quite modern compared to the rest. What the hockey? I didn't think I would have had access to a DVD player then. This is us. A really good show. My love Ventimiglia. Mandy Moore. So baby, come to me, baby, show me who you are, baby, sweat to me like sugar to my heart. I'm waiting for you, I'm missing you like candy. I'm gonna have to delete this video now. Justin Hartley. I can't remember all of the names. He's a really good actor. What's his name? He's shown up in a lot of things these days. What's his name? Sterling K. Brown. And this is Chrissy Metz. I'm a big fan of anything that's sort of big family related. I always gravitate towards that stuff. So if anyone likes that kind of thing, you would like this. It's a family. Well, actually, no, I think it's better to not know much about this one. At least until you watch the first episode, because there's a bit of a twist. Roswell. 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 They've just remade this and I've not seen any of that one, but I loved this one so much. It's probably quite juvenile now, but back then I adored it. In fact, I remember there's a scene in season 1, this one, that is from the year, I'm going to say 1999, yep, 1999. So there's a scene in this season where, oh, you can see yourself, that I kept rewinding on the DVD, where the sheriff, I think there might be more than one actually, but the sheriff, who was a bit of a villain at the beginning, he's sort of interrogating Maria, this character, and the scene gave me intense ASMR. It was long before ASMR had a name, but you would find things in movies and TV shows every now and again that would hit the triggers, and this one definitely did. So this one's season 1. I'll quickly show you them. This one's season 2. Jason Bear, Sherry Appleby, Michael Bean, Ben, and Catherine Heigl, the breakout actor of the show. Then the final season, because this was cancelled as well, I think. This one though, I remember even at the age I was then, I was probably like 14 when I watched it. But to try and sort of claw back some ratings and avoid being cancelled, they asked, well, they made them sex it up. So everyone's wearing much more revealing clothing in this one. I think they are, but you can just tell the vibe changes. But it's definitely the weakest of the three, even for a potentially juvenile show. But it actually was a really good show, especially the first season. For that age group, anyway. Put them in wrong. And the next one is like basically my main obsession when I was a young'un. And I'd always say I'm a fan of this show. However, I've not watched it in years. Can you say that? Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So next is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I may have just jumped a little bit in editing there because there was some noise outside. This is the final season, season like some of those which there's nothing wrong with them, it's just these book type editions seem really cool and quite special, so I kept these ones, although there's only this one for Buffy season 7. Sorry about that, there was an Amazon delivery. Again, it's Christmas. I've knocked Teddy's rubber ducky off the back of the sofa. Teddy is on a day out today, so I've got some peace and quiet. I can't say quiet because he's always quiet. Well, he's usually quiet, bless him. But he's very clingy, if you've noticed. So this is Buffy. To go with Buffy, the other one that I've got in this style of packaging is Angel, season 1. Angel, season 1 DVD collection. Again, this is one of those book type ones. For anyone that watched the show or not, this one was quite different to the later seasons. It was like more of a detective crime show with the vampires, whereas it got a lot lighter as the years went on and more fun, I think, in the subsequent years. But still, this is a good one. David Boreanaz. If you know, you know. Welcome to the OC. Iconic. I think so. Well, at the time there was the OC that premiered in 2003, I think, and One Tree Hill, which I don't know if it was the same year or a year apart, but like this was by far the bigger one, at least amongst everyone I knew. We didn't even really register One Tree Hill. And especially this first season, it was very, very, very popular and really, really good. But then, a couple of years later, it took a massive nosedive in popularity anyway. I still loved it. But One Tree Hill just carried on, sort of going up and up and up. I think I remember hearing that the OC was Orange County was never called the OC until the show. I was the same age as the characters when this aired, so that obviously helps in terms of connecting to the characters. Not that I had anything in common with any of them in the beach houses, but even in 2011 when I went to, I mentioned it in another video, on that sort of journey across America with one of my best friends, even then, so that was quite a while after this finished, I was excited to get to California. episode aired, because we knew that somebody was going to die in the show. And I remember we all got drunk and watched the episode. I remember one of the girls like crying her eyes out. But that was like a special summer because it was the last summer we were all together before going to uni, which was the same for the characters. Like I said, we were the same age. They were in college and we were finishing college. We were going to uni. And then the last season, season 4, I don't think this is very popular with a lot of people, but I enjoyed it. But like I said, it's a product of its time, and the fact it was very much it felt connected to our formative years, so it couldn't do any wrong really for me. Ryan, played by Ben McKenzie, Seth, played by Adam Brody, Tyler, played by Autumn Reeser, Summer, played by Rachel Bilson, Kaylin, played by Willa Holland, is it? And Julie, played by... I can't remember her name, sorry. Melinda Clark. This is a shot from the final episode. With Sandy and Kirsten as well. I think I'm going to save the rest for another video. I hope this video has been to your liking. I've not done this before. Yeah, hopefully this was okay. See you in the other video, or see you tomorrow. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, or good night. See you later.